But once you add all that up, the estimates are anywhere between 75 to 100 million. And in some estimates, that makes it one of the top 6 religions in the world, bigger than Judaism. Okay, so if you're going to study Judaism, you need to study Yoruba religion. Furthermore, in Nigeria, a lot of people focus on the conflict between Muslims and Christians in Nigeria, but we can't forget that a lot of Yoruba practitioners practice their religion in Nigeria as well. So as Nigeria emerges as a power in this world politically, you're also going to have to reckon with its spirituality and its religion. And so to do so, you can't only focus on its Muslim and Christian aspects, but also on its indigenous Yoruba religion as well. So Yoruba as a religion exists not only in West Africa, in places like Nigeria, Benin, Ghana, and Sierra Leone, where there's the Yoruba language is spoken and Yoruba religion is prevalent, but it also has a New World diaspora in the Caribbean and South America, due, unfortunately, to the slave trade. A lot of slaves that were taken out of West Africa brought their Yoruba religion with them, oftentimes mixing it with New World belief or Catholicism and all of that. And so this kind of looks different. It's bastardized in a way, but it's still Yoruba religion in its essence. Okay, and so adding all of those up together, if you count the Caribbean and South American forms, along with all the different forms that exist in West Africa, you get anywhere from 75 to 100 million practitioners, which this isn't something to shake a stick at, isn't something to disregard, it's something to study and something to understand. Now again, this is kind of a map of where it is in Africa. A lot of people coming from Nigeria, that's where the Yoruba people kind of originated, is in the southwest of Nigeria. You got Togo, Benin, and Ghana. Of course, these are ancient African kingdoms, all influenced by Yoruba religion, and also in Sierra Leone. Now that's spread out across the world through syncretism, because Yoruba is more than a rigid belief system, it's a way of life. Very comfortable with being elastic, much like Hinduism is, as we'll study later. They can adopt practices and beliefs of other religions and other belief systems. They adapt them to fit within Yoruba religion and absorb them within Yoruba religion. This most notably happens within Catholicism. Again, the idea of saints fit very well with a lot of the Orishas. And so some saints in South America, in Santeria, which is a form of Yoruba religion, or Candomblé, these are where saints are associated with particular orishas. So the way you connect with the orishas is the way you connect with the saints, and you can see that if you understand Roman Catholicism at all. Some of these things are very clear. You mediate between God and the world through these saints, and so that sounds a lot like the orisha. You're mediating between like Oludumare and the Asha through the orisha and the diviners, the priests, so you can understand how to reconnect with the world. So you can see how easily Yoruba practitioners were able to integrate and absorb parts of Catholicism and just make it part of their own religion. You also see this in African independent churches, whether it's just the pastor in this African independent church acts a lot like a diviner would, or you could see a full syncretism where there's a lot of connection between what it means to be Yoruba and what it means to be Christian. Okay, so you can see this, and you can study a lot more about that, particularly with Santeria and Candomblé in South America and Central America. You can also see this in Voodoo, as it exists in Haiti and Louisiana. They're less Yoruba than a lot of others, but still very connected, still very much part of this kind of Yoruba religion base. Now, we talk about bastardizations, where Catholicism has been bastardized by Yoruba religion, but some Yoruba religion practitioners will say that Yoruba religion has been bastardized by Catholicism and bastardized by Christianity. And so Catholics will complain that Yoruba religion has kind of seeped into Catholicism in certain places, but certain Yoruba priests and Yoruba leaders will say, well, Catholicism is kind of amalgamated with Yoruba religion, has tainted it in a way. So interestingly enough, both sides say that there's a mixture here. Some are more comfortable with it than others. Now, from these African sources in Nigeria, West Africa, Togo, Benin, Ghana, Sierra Leone, it migrated over into the U.S., into places like South Carolina and New York and Louisiana, Cuba, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, Brazil, many of these places, and it did so through the slave trade. You can see this happening here, from places like Sudan, the Congo, Nigeria, Mozambique, Angola, all these different places. The Bantu people and the Nago people all brought in their different religions as they were brought over in the slave trade. And so you can see how this happens. This isn't an exactly accurate map, but it shows the idea. Okay. Now, the top diaspora destinations in the United States for Yoruba practice, again, you're going to find Voden down in Louisiana. You're going to find it in New York. You're going to find it in South Carolina. You're going to find a lot of it here in Houston, in Harris County. You're also going to, of course, find it throughout the Caribbean, in Cuba, Haiti, Trinidad and Tobago, down in South America, and Brazil, where Santeria is very popular. You're going to find it in these places. And if you look at the largest ancestry map here, that purple color is representing African or African American ancestry. And so you can see that with high African influence, you're also going to find a high influence of Yoruba or West African religion, because that's where they were brought from. That's where they came from. And so, of course, there is a lot of influence from those ancestral ties even in today. And you're going to see that happen even in black churches, African American churches. You're going to see elements of the ideas of Yoruba culture and subsequently Yoruba religion in black churches. Again, I'm not saying that black churches are Yoruba religion practitioners at all, but I'm saying you're going to see elements of it there, just as much as you're going to see elements of European pagan religions in a lot of the Western Christian celebrations of mainline churches. Whether it's Christmas or Easter, there's elements of pagan practices in these celebrations. It doesn't take a doctorate in European pagan religion to see that something in Easter with Easter eggs and a bunny and all this is not exactly Christian. And so why is that? Well, that's our ancestry, that's our culture, and we've used that culture to understand Christianity. So too, a lot of Africans and African Americans, even as they convert to other religions, still have Yoruba culture or any other African culture as a base for how they understand the world. And so it's going to seep in there in small ways and in sometimes bigger ways, as we see in like in Santeria or Candomblé or Voden. Well, that's all I've got on Yoruba religion. I hope you've been able to follow with me and understand it. Again, this is very much an introduction to Yoruba religion. I encourage you to look for more sources in libraries. There's stuff out there on the internet, but you might be just kind of awash in information, and you're going to get all the different types of Yoruba religion, and you may be overwhelmed more than you are informed if you look online. So I encourage you to check out your local library. Here in Houston, we've got some great resources for the study of Yoruba religion at Rice University, St. Thomas University, or University of Houston. They all have source books on Yoruba religion, and you can study more about Yoruba religion itself or its very many forms here in the New World. So I encourage you to continue in that study. If you have any questions or pointers for me on this, again, this is the first time I've taught Yoruba religion alone. I've taught indigenous religion before in world religions courses, but I've never gone into Yoruba religion itself. And so if you've got something to share with me, I'd love to hear about it, and I'd love to integrate that into the next time I teach this class. But for now, thanks for coming by. Thanks for watching this video. I hope you learned something more about Yoruba religion and its problem, its solution, its technique, and its exemplars. Thank you. Have a good day.